All right, state high school basketball underway. Day number 2, Malcolm, which hasn't been in the state tournament in 21 years in Class C1, and they get to take on number 1 seed Omaha Concordia. I've always thought that Omaha Concordia should be a juggernaut in sports. Good school, that part of town.
Yep.
And out there in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I can always hear the PA announcer if you sit in my living room.
Now, they have been good. They were, Michigan Lance actually was a football coach. They were really, really good. They've been good in basketball. And one guy I like, he's a monster in C1, Quentin McCaffrey, who is 6'9", 6'10". He's finally a senior. He just hit a bank three, top of the key, and they're up 3-0.
Top of the key bank, yeah.
So C1, B, and D1 all play today in Lincoln. Welcome back in. Another hour to go. Brian Edwards will join us. I believe that's true. Is going to join us.
And I was wrong, so I got need to eat crow here. It wasn't Ant-Man. It was Carl Anthony Towns. Still bad, though, for my possibly adopted Timberwolves.
One has a lower voice than the other.
Still awfully good.
It also is National Cereal Day.
March 7th. That's right.
Yeah.
Best cereal, go.
Well, how about we don't do the best cereal, but how about I give you a typical 1620 The Zone.
Bad food take?
Bad food take.
Okay. Don't say grape nuts.
I think dry cereal is way better.
My son would agree with you.
Okay.
I'll go with you.
Why do you people put milk in your cereal?
Oh.
I mean, who seriously thinks that cereal is better when it's soggy and it has no flavor? You know what you get with dry cereal?
Flavor.
I'm going to sound like a politician here today. I know that Biden's got his State of the Union tonight. Sharp's got his State of the Cereal right now. Dry cereal is better. You get the satisfying crunch, and the flavor lasts so much longer than putting milk on cereal. Wet cereal is like, mushing stuff together. It's the worst way to eat cereal is with milk. We were tricked when we were kids that you must eat cereal with milk because it's healthy. Well, if you've grown, if you're not living with your parents anymore, okay, and you have got away from their brainwashing, you will understand that the supreme intellectuals out there have found a superior way of eating cereal, and it is dry. And if you must have milk, just have it in a glass on the side. Okay, my time here is done.
Gary. So
this would be, people are wondering about if there's going to be debates or stuff. This would be, wouldn't you love to hear a debate between the two guys that are going to be up for the next president of the United States?
On cereal.
Wet cereal or wet cereal or dry cereal?
I would,
Milk
actually.
is tremendous.
All the other stuff going on in the world, this would take precedent. And thinking about it, it would be completely off the rails probably in a discussion like that. But I've said my piece that dry cereal, I eat it, and it's way better than putting that milk in the cereal. Whether it be skim or 2% or 1% or fake milk that comes from a goat or an almond.
Or an oat.
The way that you say that milk, come on. Now you're okay with drinking milk out of a glass. Do you ever have milk and cookies when you were young? Did you ever like that combination of milk and cookies?
What do you need milk for?
I'm no longer young. Okay.
Okay.
My parents don't pay my cell phone bill anymore, so I've gotten away from them, and I can be an independent thinker.
Isn't there something special about a 1-2 punch, though? Isn't there something magical about a combination that just works? Milk and cereal work. And here's the other thing about your mushy cereal theory.
I get you. You're on the soggy cereal.
But see, this is the other thing. The cereals that I enjoy, if they're worth their salt, they don't get soggy within the time frame that I'm eating it in milk. You let it sit there for 5-10 minutes. Yeah, it's going to get soggy. But as soon as you pour that milk over the cereal then you start digging in, you get the perfect combination of a little bit of that milk flavor with the cereal. It goes together perfectly. And then the best part is you are able to drink the milk with the cereal flavor that is some of the best milk you'll ever have.
It's cool. You know, something in my career I always wanted to do as a talk show host is do a talk show with a 12-year-old.
I still do. So my wife we don't eat cereal a lot, but now that we have a 3-year-old, sometimes it's like, hey, that looks good. She will leave the bowl of milk, if I'm not around, in the fridge that she had her cereal in, and then I'll drink it.
Your back what?
Because she knows I like it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good.
The things people
especially if we're having Lucky Charms. Again, another cereal that if you eat it at the right time. It doesn't get soggy on you.
Jimmy Allen, you're off the hook.
Oh, I'm about to pull an Otson here.
Your hot take yesterday has been replaced by whatever just came out of my 12-year-old host's mouth.
No, you're doing milk and cereal wrong, man.
Jim writes in. He goes, "Hey, Sharp." He goes, "Enjoy your weak ass bones, pancake skull, and never breaking a bone."
Yeah. Yep. If you shake Gary's hand, you know he's a little brittle these days. That's because he declined milk in his cereal.
Oh, I'm screwed.
Damn straight.
All right.
You can take a pill for calcium.
So enjoy your cereal on National Cereal Day.
Got some options.
Hey, that row of cereal in the grocery store continues to get longer and longer, and there are more creative cereals.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to like buy a box of cereal, go home, sit on the couch while you're watching your favorite ball game or The View at 10 o'clock and reach in there and grab some cereal.
You know,
I'm with him.
The thing
I
that
don't need the lactose intolerance.
The View is such a bad show. But it's always on when I go home.
I'm not against putting my hand in the cereal box and just eating it without any milk. I want to make that clear. But yeah, if I'm going to have cereal, if I'm saying, yeah, you know what, I'm going to have a bowl of cereal, I'm putting milk in it. Absolutely 100%. And I will do that till the day I die. Maybe it might actually, it might speed up that process. I don't know. But if there's a candy bar out there, they're now making that into a cereal.
Oh yeah.
Like everything that you've ever loved in a candy bar is now a cereal.
Just, when you're a younger kid, you never look at the back of the box or the side of the box to see
sugar,
nutrition facts,
which I do now.
Well, see, it was a great diversion because usually they put like a little puzzle in the back or some little maze. And then if you reach in, you get a prize. I miss those days.
Some
like
people,
getting honeycombs.
Some people ask me why I'm fat. And I'll say, here's the deal. Because I used to collect baseball cards. And so I would convince my mom to buy stuff where I could get baseball cards. So I had a lot of Twinkies and Ho-Hos as a kid because on the back of the box, you had baseball cards and you could cut them off.
Yeah.
And then
really? On Twinkies?
Yeah, Twinkies and Ho-Hos.
Really?
I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah. They had the cards were on the bottom of the box. And so you cut the bottom of the box off. But my mom would be like, well, you got to eat all the Twinkies.
I have to?
Okay. So what she failed to police is not at all at one time. Because when you're a little kid, you don't care about calories.
No.
And then you realize you have the sharp metabolism, which doesn't really exist. But then cereal, I would get cereal, any cereal that had like baseball cards, I would get that cereal.
Honeycombs.
And I really wouldn't eat the cereal. I would just put my gnarly little hand into it and grab the baseball card. But then as, a good parent that my mom was, a little questionable, she would make me eat the cereal. She goes, we bought that for you.
Yeah, you're not going to waste it.
And I'd be like, oh, God, honeycombs is...
Oh, I like honeycombs.
Okay.
Honeycombs does get soggy really fast, though. So that's one that you probably want to eat dry. Now, I did notice with the baseball cards, they started doing this later in my childhood of putting the card behind the actual plastic casing of which the cereal resides in. So you didn't actually have to put your dirty, disgusting, germ-ridden hands in there.
Builds up your immune system.
But you didn't know that because then you'd reach in there, you're like, where the hell's the card? And then it was after you already put your hand in there that you realize, oh, it's behind the plastic. So I don't think they did a good job of letting you know, hey, the baseball card is here, not in there, because I get why they did that. So you don't put your hand in the cereal like we all did. But until you know that, if they're not letting you know, you're still going to go there because that's what you know.
Yeah, there's another part of like my childhood that they don't ever tell you until you get a little bit older that leads to problems later in life is when you buy baseball cards and you eat the gum.
Oh,
but
worst gum ever.
But you swallow the gum.
And 7 years.
Yeah.
And then you set back the clock for every piece of gum. Jim or Andy, by the way, brings up the grape nuts. You want to talk about the worst food take? My old co-host liked grape nuts. That was his favorite cereal. Said, who even eats grape nuts?
My grandma liked grape.
Like I feel like you could put that like on top of like a meatloaf to try to add crunch to it, but you're not actually eating that as a cereal. Like, did anybody like grape nuts? I remember my parents would try to buy this and we would just laugh at them. I have 3 older brothers were like, what are you doing? And again, well, it's a little more healthy than the Captain Crunch berries.
But the Captain
Crunch
berries
awful.
Are fantastic.
It's terrible. I'm not going to eat it. You could douse that in milk. Hell, you could put Mountain Dew on that thing and I'm not eating it. Grape nuts were awful.
Seems like a food dare.
Andy says Olds. It was Olds.
Olds, yeah.
Olds like grape nuts.
Grandma liked grape nuts.
Joey says, how long is Gary letting his cereal sit in the milk? Mine never gets soggy.
What is cereal?
I agree. I'm with you. Yeah, there are plenty of good options out there that
by all means,
you don't let it sit there and marinate. As soon as you pour, you eat. It's fine. It's not going to be soggy.
Our friend is back here on Dodge Street. That has tried to break into our building.
Okay.
See, they gave him a show on Coil.
Good heads up.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we're staying here.
We still got 50 minutes or so.
Matt says, I just took my baseball cards to the shop to sell, and the ones I cut off boxes are worthless. Supposed to not cut them and just keep the box. But how many 8-year-olds do that exactly? like there's no instructions on the Twinkie box or the Ho-Ho box of don't cut the bottom of the box off and then cut them separate baseball cards.
It's going to be like the second day I bring up the movie Better Off Dead. But as he's always cutting the box, but he leaves the cereal in it, so they pull all the box of cereal, and it just keeps pouring out because he cut the box. Yeah, that's what that reminds me.
All right, when we come back, we'll move off cereal talk.
Okay.
This is from something earlier. Last hour, Nick and I were talking about NIL, college football stadium projects. Are you more likely to donate to get yourself a quarterback that could possibly put you in the playoff and win a championship, or donate so that your plank could be a little bit more comfortable? And we know that college football, the way it's been trending, and now with the 2-minute warning and helmet communication, it's becoming NFL light. Listener brought up a great question comparing NFL and college football that I'll pose to you guys and I'll dive into, and we'll let our listeners chime in when we come back. Brian Edwards a little bit later. I think our guy is moving on. Likes to play close to the traffic here on Dodge Street, so I do worry about him. But he has become a friend of the station. He just like to come in and hang out with people.
6A to 6P.
Just only problem is he doesn't work here. It's mornings with Sharp and Hanley on 1620 The Zone.
Gary Sharp, Nick Hanley, and Jimmy Chavez.